This is Oyango Snell, President and CEO of CLOC, and we're here at CGI 2026. I have my brother from another mother, Timo Karakashev, as my guest today here in the studio, and we're about to get into some real good conversation.
Thank you for having me, man.
All right.
I'm really grateful to be in this room, and I'm really grateful to be at CLOC for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for the fact that you have welcomed us with open arms.
Yes, yes. Timo, a lot of people might not know about you, man. They might not know about the great work that you're doing. Tell the people who you are and tell us about Cosmonauts. How did it come to be?
Right. I've been running this business for almost 10 years now. So
You started when CLOC started.
Well, it will be a decade this September.
Okay, so
right?
about 1 year apart. Yeah.
It's about a year apart from you guys, but really it was a simple inception. I did what most people say, follow the money.
Yeah.
Right. So back in 2016, I was working for a intangible assets commercialization advisory out of Auckland in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I invested in a legal technology product that was targeting intellectual property lawyers. And that piqued my interest in looking at this space.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was an increase of venture capital funding going into this space in comparative to the prior 5 years.
Yeah.
And having worked with lawyers for the entirety of my career, prior to that, I felt that if you will be selling software, it's best to be selling it to people that are making lots of money.
Right, 100%.
And I thought that, all that software will have to be sold somehow.
Yeah.
And legal being such an interpersonal profession, it's a profession that is entirely built on relationships. This is how lawyers have been selling their services since the beginning of time. I thought that this is how they will be buying services, and this is how they will be buying software as well. In-person conferences, what I call in-person marketplaces.
Yeah.
Because what you've got here in this hall is a marketplace. And I started with one conference back in 2017. So that was our future lawyer in the UK. I was able to scrape tiny bit of sponsorship from a handful of providers, most of whom are not amongst us any longer. So my first sponsors were organizations such as Raven, which got acquired by iManage. It was the first AI company, AI branded company over 10 years ago. An organization called Workshare, which later got acquired by Litera, which is now Litera Transacts.
Yeah.
One of the best performing products of Litera. iManage.
Yeah.
Which obviously are still with us and are stronger than ever. One of the major players in the PMS space. And I was able to scrape very little sponsorship. And I had to host that first event on a bank holiday Monday.
Yeah.
And a bank holiday Monday for the North Americans listening to this is almost hosting an event on Thanksgiving. and the reason why I hosted this on a bank holiday Monday is because it was the only date I could afford a venue in which, I can provide an adequate level of experience and feed people.
Yeah.
But despite that, we had about 100 people in that room at the time. 95% of whom thought that, nothing will really change.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all told that, all of that tech chatter is just, is just a fad. It was something that will pass and nothing will really change in the way that law will be practiced.
Many people tell us nothing's going to change. And people told us that transitioning from Las Vegas to Chicago wouldn't work, although this is what our members told us they wanted. You've run events all over the world. Thinking about where we are today, CGI 2026 Chicago, what's some of the things you think we need to be thinking about as we go back to Vegas in 2027? when you think about running events around the world and making sure that we're able to have a good experience like we're having here in Chicago?
I think that the location is somewhat irrelevant.
Okay.
You know, I feel that it's about the community, it's about the education that you guys are providing.
Yeah.
I think that you are really good at putting the right people in the room, and you're really good at bringing the relevant content to that crowd.
Yeah.
Everything else for me is bells and whistles.
Right.
It's the people that matter.
Yeah.
And where that room might be or should be is just a detail.
Yeah.
I think that obviously you guys have been since the beginning of time in Vegas. I think that moving the conference out of Vegas for this edition showed fresh thinking. You know, I think that you are bringing a lot of change to the organization.
Yeah.
And I feel that this is well felt over the last few days. So I do feel that having done it here this year was good, but I also feel that doing it there next year will also give an opportunity to go back to your roots.
Yeah.
And origin. And my understanding is that you guys are planning on kind of moving it around the country,
Yeah.
right? You know,
Yeah.
like you were telling me that, you know, you're looking to do it in Nashville, you're
Yeah.
looking to do it in other places. And I
Yeah.
think that this is important.
Yeah.
It's important because you will be able to cater to people that cannot necessarily travel,
Access. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
giving an opportunity to get this phenomenal conference near people in various places across the country is quite important.
Yeah.
Because coming to those events is a commitment. It's a financial commitment. It's time commitment. People need to obtain budgets. People need to take time out of work. People need to take time out of home. And not everyone can do that. So being able to go back to Nevada, being able to move it to Nashville, being able to be in places across the country
Right.
will allow for people to come and experience this.
Yeah.
You know, that may not be able to experience it otherwise.
Yeah.
And this is what will, for me, allow you guys to make the pie bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's about bringing new people, and this is what we are all about as well. When I have conversations with people like yourself, and the reason why I'm so excited about this partnership is because we are here to make the pie bigger. We're not here to take a bigger slice of the existing pie.
100%.
You know, and we are by design doing what we are doing in a sense that we are trying to be in places around the world where legal technology conferences didn't exist before.
Right.
And it's all about bringing new people to this community. It's all about bringing new people to this movement, if you wish. Because for me, and that may sound radical to some people, buying software today is what's going to bridge the access to justice gap tomorrow.
Right. Right.
Because right now, we are experiencing a huge disbalance between demand and supply in legal services.
Yeah.
I love asking people, you know, why do you think legal services are so expensive?
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to think that, oh, because they're really hard to perform, you know, it's very complex, it's specialist work. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
It's a simple supply and demand equation.
Yeah.
You know, there is an enormous amount of demand and there is a very little amount of supply. Today, legal services are performed by a very small group of people.
There's only 1.4 million lawyers in the United States. I know if you want to go globally, there's more than that, obviously. But just thinking about it, looking at it from the lens of the United States, where I'm at, yeah, it's a very small number of lawyers. When you equate that or translate that to the number of people in the United States, which is 396 million people, and it's only 1.4 million lawyers. You said something though that sat with me, Timo, and for the people listening, because I like to highlight things that come from podcasts, because just sit through podcasts, listen to the whole thing. But you said this is about the people, the conversations that's being had, getting the right people in the room, elevating and up-leveling the content, and you've been able to do that by forging and strengthening partnerships. And you mentioned the partnership that we have, that CLOC has with Cosmonauts, and as we began to work through that, what kind of spawned your thought process on trying to elevate what you're doing through strategic partnerships? Because for us, I came in with that thought process when I joined CLOC in November of 2024 and just looked at the lay of the land, wanting to bring the industry together, wanting to look at strategic partnerships, because our work really is not about us per se. It's about what we can do for those that come after us and how we can more or less rather bridge that sort of gap between the current knowledge base and those who have it to those who are trying to get it. What's your thought process on like really thinking about forging those partnerships? And I know you've taken an intentional strategic approach to it. So share with the listeners how you've done that.
We're all working towards the same objective. We are all working towards supporting legal professionals to become better at what they do. We're all working towards educating legal professionals. We are all working towards equipping legal professionals with the right tools so that they can perform what I call precision at scale.
Yeah.
Going back to that supply and demand question, it's not about replacing legal professionals. It's about allowing them or supporting them to deliver a higher volume quality legal work. And you and I in your organization, in my organization, we are working towards the same objective. And because we are working towards the same objective, it only makes sense that we partner. And that is with many other organizations out there. And yes, to an extent, you might say, hey, we are competitors. But competition is also good for business.
Absolutely.
It's good for the consumer.
Yeah.
It's good for the people that are receiving our service, because competition allows us to be better and to aim to be better at what we do.
Yeah.
So being able to be here, being able to see what you guys are doing right, being able to see what you guys are doing different allows me to polish and allow for our delivery to improve, and vice versa.
Yeah.
None of us have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Right? But we can work together to be better day by day and year by year. So I think that I'm so grateful that you have taken the similar approach in the way that you are approaching the rest of the industry.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you have welcomed us, you have welcomed others.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like us here. Yeah. And we're very excited to have you guys at a lot of our events because again, it's about building that community. It's about growing that community. And we can only do it if we work together.
Yeah.
There is strength in numbers.
100%.
As they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far,
go together.
Go together. And that's so true about what we do. And that's so true about all of those suppliers as well, because you can see that as well. Partnerships are across the board in our industry now. And that didn't used to be the case. You have so many products that are partnering together. You have so many products that have opened their quote unquote doors to each other because they understand that this will improve the experience of those legal professionals. And the same is true for us. Being able to have you in Paris a week and a half from now, being able to allow you to tell your story, to tell your vision to a completely new group of people
100%.
In France that may have not
ever heard of us,
of you 100%. Before. It's really powerful and it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, if we're both delivering a quality experience, people won't choose between you and me.
Right.
They'll go with both of us.
Right.
So as long as we're doing that, we'll both benefit. I always tell people there is 10 times more to gain by opening our doors to each other than there is to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. No question about it. I've taken that approach, but with a little bit of nuance to it. And that is in the sense where I don't view the work that we do as competitive in that regard or as competitors. There are competitive forces, so to speak, right? We'd be like not operating under 21st century business principles if you ignore the inevitable or the obvious, rather. But the reality for me is one of the reasons why it's important from my lens to bring people into the fold, not just because of what I said earlier, as far as what we do for those that come after us, but CLOC is CLOC's biggest competitor. I mean, if we do what we should be doing, we're serving the people that we say we're trying to serve. And if we're not partnering with people who have greater, broader, or different access to others throughout the legal ecosystem, we're not partnering with them to reach them and also having a mutual beneficial relationship with them, because this is a people business at the end of the day, then we're doing our members as well as others who don't know about us a disservice by not learning about the work that we can do and the access and resources that they can leverage. So I think it really goes hand in hand. Tell us about your experience here, being on the vendor side and having a booth on the floor, participating in the sessions. What are you seeing? How is it? How are you feeling?
I am having a phenomenal time here. Having that booth has been so useful for us. Being able to put our brand up, being present here for this audience is having an enormous impact for our business. And I think the same is true for every other exhibitor that's on this floor.
Yeah.
You know, people are here to learn. People are here to do business.
Yeah.
I can see and I can hear going through those floors that deals are happening on those tables and across the floor. And the same is true for us.
Yeah.
You know, we have closed an enormous amount of business being here.
Yeah.
And as you said, this is a people's industry. This is a people's business. You know, we have to aspire to what we preach.
Right.
You know, what we offer people is an opportunity for them to connect in person.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, buying from someone is about trust.
Yeah.
And when you meet someone in person, that individual materializes for you.
Yeah.
You know, they're no longer an email. They're no longer a 2D persona like on your screen when you're having a call.
100%.
You know, when you're on the floor, you can feel the energy of the person across from you.
Yeah.
And the truth is that in a world where, just talking about the vendors here, in a world where the barrier to entry for building product has never been lower, it's about choosing the right partners.
Yeah.
So the people that are buying software here, they're not buying software. You know, they're buying into the people that are going to be supporting them for years to come through that product.
With the product. Exactly. Right. They're buying or investing in the relationship and the tool that company happens to sell or offer. That's just a byproduct of what it is that they're investing in. I love the way you frame that, because that's how I speak and that's how I see it. I did a podcast with one of our vendors here a couple of months ago, Melbeck, and we talked about the importance of participants going to the exhibit floor and talking to exhibitors to learn about trends and new products and services that are being offered, but also about building relationships and having an opportunity to learn about how they can elevate not only their individual game, but whether it's their in-house legal team or their organizational goals. Getting a chance to talk to 10 or 15 different vendors gives you that insight as to what's out there, what people are doing. So a little bit of a quick fire takes. A lot of our track has been about artificial intelligence here from an educational content perspective. We couldn't get off this podcast without talking about AI now, could we?
Absolutely.
All right. AI change the future or is just noise? Quick take.
It's changing the future and the present already.
Okay. In the event space as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have deployed so many automations that are done through AI in our business. And in fact, we have been building our own agentic AI product that allows for people to make the most of those conferences. It allows for people to meet the right people, and it allows for people to follow up in timely manner. So it's absolutely changing the way that we operate. It's changing the way that lawyers operate. There has been a lot of chatter on the internet over the last couple of days about Anthropic, Microsoft entering the space and potentially eating the lunch of quote unquote legal tech. I don't think any of this will happen. In fact, I think that this will allow for this industry to grow even faster.
Yeah.
Because the very fact that those mammoths of technology companies are looking into this space and are entering this space will make the curiosity of lawyers even more so elevated than it is today. Because I would tell you this, we're only scratching the surface right now.
Yeah.
I get so many people come to our conferences from large organizations. I'm talking about some of the largest banks in the world, some of the largest manufacturing companies in the world, some of the largest airplane manufacturers in the world, who I meet at the conferences, and they tell us, we've got fuck all.
Yeah.
We've got basic Copilot, and you know what? This conference is a good opportunity for us to see what's there.
Yeah.
This is true for everywhere we've been to. That's the reason why we go to all those cities around the world. We are trying to bring new people to this movement.
Right.
And that's why, we'll be covering pretty much the whole of Europe next year.
Yes.
With conferences. Yes. We're going to APAC. We're going to be in Hong Kong. We're going to be in Tokyo. We're going to be in Shanghai. We're going to be in Melbourne, because this is a global industry.
Yeah.
And for this to be a global industry, we need to have those discussions and these opportunities being all over the world. I know that you guys are doing this also already. I know that you are in Sydney yourself on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You've got conferences in London. You've got events running throughout Europe.
Yeah.
So it is very important that we continue doing the work that we're doing and making those opportunities accessible for more people.
Yeah.
Because we need to be the driver for this industry.
Yeah.
We are the catalyst for this change to happen.
Yeah.
That's what we are doing.
Yeah. You talked about Paris earlier, but Frankfurt, Germany also.
Absolutely.
For our members listening, tell the people from your perspective what this membership, or at least what this partnership rather, means and how you see it helping us elevate the game.
So we are closely partnering with CLOC for both Paris and Frankfurt this year. We look forward to obviously having you personally delivering one of our keynotes in Paris. We're looking to be welcoming your members at our conference. For those who are listening, CLOC has got a volume of tickets that they can distribute to their members for both of those conferences. We look forward to having your group in Frankfurt. So you guys are taking over one of our panel discussions on the in-house day, and that's quite significant because we only have 3 panel discussions per day. So for those who don't know, we run single track events. So we're very, very curative with our agenda. So we're grateful for you guys to be taking autonomy over this. I know that your German membership has been growing really fast. In fact, from what I hear, it's one of your fastest growing locations. So we are honored to be able to provide a forum and a platform for the CLOC members to collide at the end of September in Frankfurt. So again, for anyone that is listening that might be curious, you guys should contact CLOC and opt in to be a member for Germany if you're not already a member.
Yeah.
CLOC will be having their closed door members summit on day 1.
Yeah.
And then on day 2, they will be taking part of the main conference.
Yeah.
Again, for those who don't know, the reason why this is split the way that it is that usually our day 1 is our law firm day.
Yeah.
So you guys are having your closed door meeting on that day. And then obviously you are taking active participation in our in-house day, which is always day 2 of our conferences.
Yeah. Timo, it's going to be a hell of a time, brother.
Absolutely, man. I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah.
I look forward to taking on this journey with you.
Yeah.
And again, for those who are listening to us, by the end of the decade, we're going to be in all 50 biggest cities in the world. I look forward to building the largest legal community together.
Well, I say without vision, the people perish.
Absolutely.
And the good book tells us so. Timo, it's been great, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.